You ever met someone whose words cut deeper than a knife? Maybe you've been that person. Maybe in a moment of anger you said something you couldn't take back. I know I have. There was a time in my life when I spoke without thinking, letting my emotions dictate my words. And one day, I let my frustration get the best of me. I said something careless to my mother. I don't even remember the exact words, but I'll never forget the look on her face. One of hurt, disappointment, and wisdom all at once. She didn't yell, didn't argue. She just looked at me and said, "Your words can be a bridge or they can be a wall. Choose wisely." That stuck with me. Because see, words aren't just sounds. They are power. They can uplift or destroy. They can open doors or slam them shut. Every great leader, every successful person, every individual who has ever made an impact in this world understood the weight of their words. They didn't just speak, they spoke with intention. How many times have you talked yourself out of something before you even tried? I can't do that. I'm not good enough. I'll never make it. And guess what? Your mind believes you. You keep saying I can't and you won't. You keep saying I'm broke and you'll stay that way. You keep saying I'm not good enough and you'll never be. But what if you flip the script? What if, instead of tearing yourself down, you started speaking life? I am capable. I am growing. I will figure it out. Not empty words, but words backed by belief and action. Look around. The most successful people you admire, whether it's Denzel Washington, Muhammad Ali, or Oprah, do you think they walked around talking about what they couldn't do? No. They spoke their vision into existence. Ali didn't wait for people to call him the greatest. He told them he was. Before the world believed it, he believed it himself. And it's not just about what you say to yourself, it's about what you say to others. Some of you are wondering why you can't build strong relationships, why people don't support you, why success feels out of reach. But listen to how you speak to people. Do you uplift or do you tear down? Do you encourage or do you criticize? I heard a story about a man who spent years chasing opportunities, but nothing ever worked out. He was talented, hardworking, but always found himself coming up short. One day his mentor pulled him aside and said, "Have you ever listened to yourself talk? Every time something doesn't go your way, you complain. Every time a challenge comes up, you predict failure. You're cursing your own path before you even take the first step." That hit him hard, and he made a change. He stopped complaining. He stopped speaking defeat. He started replacing doubt with determination, negativity with vision, and things began to shift. Because here's the truth, your words create your world. You can use them to build, or you can use them to destroy. You can speak life, or you can speak death. It's up to you. So I ask you, what are you speaking into existence? Are you shaping your future with your words, or are you tearing it down before it even begins? Life will test you. People will test you. There will be days when everything seems to go wrong, when the weight of the world feels unbearable, when frustration, anger, and doubt come knocking at your door. You can't control what happens to you, but you can always control how you respond. That's where your power lies. Not in avoiding challenges, but in mastering yourself when those challenges arise. I've seen people with all the talent in the world lose everything because they couldn't control their emotions. A bad temper cost them a career. Impatience cost them an opportunity. Reacting instead of thinking cost them relationships. Emotions can be your greatest strength, or they can be your greatest weakness. It all depends on whether you control them or they control you. I remember watching a basketball game once. It was close. Seconds left on the clock. Championship on the line. One player got fouled hard. You could see the anger in his face, the fire in his eyes. The other team was trying to get in his head, pushing, taunting, daring him to react. And for a second you could see it. He wanted to lash out. He wanted to give in to that emotion, to show them he wasn't weak. But then something clicked. Instead of fighting, instead of losing control, he stepped back, took a deep breath, and walked to the free throw line. He sank both shots and won the game for his team. That's the difference between people who react and people who respond. People who react let their emotions dictate their actions, and in the process, they lose sight of what really matters. People who respond take control. They understand that a moment of anger can destroy years of work. A moment of weakness can cost a lifetime of opportunity. Think about the people you respect the most, the ones who inspire you, the ones who lead, the ones who make a difference. Do you think they let their moods dictate their mission? Do you think they let a bad day throw them off track? No. They show up even when they don't feel like it. They push forward even when they're tired, frustrated, or doubted. Because emotions are temporary, but the consequences of how you handle them, those last forever. I've met people who let one bad moment ruin their entire day. They wake up late, spill coffee on their shirt, and suddenly the whole day is a disaster. But I've also met people who face real hardship, financial struggles, family issues, setbacks, and still show up with focus, with drive, with discipline. What's the difference? Control. When you control your mood, you don't let the little things shake you. You don't let outside forces dictate your energy, your attitude, or your effort. You learn to pause before you react, breathe before you break, and choose your response instead of letting your emotions choose for you. And let me tell you something, staying calm under pressure isn't weakness, it's power. When you keep your emotions in check, you gain an edge over the people who don't. You think clearer, act wiser, and move smarter. While they're wasting time reacting, you're staying focused on your goal. So ask yourself, are you in control of your emotions, or are they in control of you? When the pressure hits, will you fold or will you rise? Money is a tool. It can build, it can destroy, it can liberate, or it can enslave. The difference? How you manage it. Too many people chase money without ever learning how to handle it. They want the cars, the clothes, the lifestyle, but when the money comes, they waste it. And when it's gone, they wonder why they're still struggling. Money doesn't solve problems. Financial discipline does. I've seen athletes, entertainers, and entrepreneurs go from having millions to having nothing, not because they weren't making enough, but because they weren't managing it right. They thought the good times would last forever, spending every dollar like it was guaranteed to come back. They surrounded themselves with people who drained them instead of advising them. And when the money stopped, the lifestyle did. That's how you go broke, no matter how much you make. I remember hearing a story about a janitor. Yes, a janitor, who worked at the same job for over 40 years. He never drove a flashy car, never lived in a mansion, never acted like he was rich. But when he passed away, people were shocked to find out he had quietly saved over $8 million. How? Discipline. He didn't waste money trying to impress people. He invested. He lived below his means. He made sure his money worked for him instead of working for his money. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't enjoy life. I'm not saying you should be afraid to spend. But I am saying you need a plan. If you don't tell your money where to go, you'll always wonder where it went. Some people buy things they don't need with money they don't have to impress people who don't care. They rack up debt, live paycheck to paycheck, and wonder why financial freedom seems impossible. But the truth is, it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep and what you do with it. Look at the wealthiest people in the world. They don't spend money the way most people think they do. Warren Buffett still lives in the same house he bought in 1958. Jay-Z went from flashy spending to smart investing. The secret isn't in making more, it's in making what you have work for you. Money can buy comfort, but it can't buy character. It can buy access, but it can't buy wisdom. It can buy the appearance of success, but it can't buy the habits that create lasting success. If you want to be wealthy, not just rich, but wealthy, you have to think differently. You have to learn how money works, how to invest, how to make it grow. You have to stop thinking about short-term pleasure and start thinking about long-term stability. Because let me tell you something, money without discipline is a trap. If you can't handle $1,000, you won't handle $100,000. If you can't manage 100,000, you won't manage 1,000,000. It's not about the amount, it's about the mindset. So the question isn't just how much money you want to make. The real question is, how will you manage what you have? The mind is the battlefield. Every victory, every failure, every breakthrough, every breakdown, it all starts in the mind. You can have all the talent, all the resources, all the opportunities in the world, but if your mind is weak, none of it will matter. Your thoughts shape your reality. What you feed your mind determines what you become. If you control your mind, you control your future. But if you let your mind control you, you will always be a prisoner of your circumstances. I've seen people with less talent, fewer connections, and bigger obstacles succeed beyond imagination. Why? Because they refuse to let doubt, fear, or negativity take root in their minds. They disciplined their thoughts. They didn't waste energy complaining about what they didn't have. They focused on what they could create. They didn't let failure define them. They used it to sharpen them. They trained their minds like a warrior trains for battle, because that's exactly what life is. Every day you are faced with two voices. The one that tells you, you can't, you're not good enough, it's too late. And the one that tells you, keep going, you have what it takes, you were made for this. The voice you listen to will determine the life you live. Most people don't fail because they lack ability. They fail because they believe the wrong voice. They let self-doubt sit at the table, and before they know it, it's making all the decisions for them. Muhammad Ali once said, "I am the greatest," long before he was. He didn't wait for the world to believe it, he believed it first. That's the key. The world will always doubt you. People will tell you what you can't do. But when your mind is strong, when you've trained yourself to push past the noise, their doubts won't shake you, their words won't break you, and their limits won't define you. How many times have you stopped yourself from taking a risk because of fear? How many dreams have you buried because your mind told you, what if it doesn't work? But what if it does? What if everything you've been afraid of is just a test to see how badly you want it? What if success isn't waiting for someone more talented, more connected, or more lucky, but for the one who simply refuses to quit? Your mind is like a garden. If you plant weeds, doubt, fear, negativity, don't be surprised when that's all that grows. But if you plant seeds of confidence, discipline, and persistence, you will harvest strength, success, and resilience. You have to protect your mind like a fortress. Be careful what you let in, what you listen to, what you watch, who you surround yourself with. If you want to change your life, start by changing your thoughts. Because here's the truth, you become what you think about most. If you think like a winner, you will act like a winner. If you think like a victim, you will act like a victim. If you believe you can, you will find a way. If you believe you can't, you will find an excuse. It all starts in the mind. So ask yourself, who is in control? You or your thoughts? Are you feeding your mind with strength, or are you letting fear take over? Because at the end of the day, the most powerful thing in the world isn't money, fame, or talent. It's a mind that refuses to be defeated. Life is about choices. Every single day you make decisions that shape your future. Some seem small, what you eat, what you watch, who you talk to. Others are bigger. Where you invest your time, what goals you pursue, how you respond to challenges. But in the end, they all add up. Every choice is a brick in the foundation of your life. The question is, are you building something strong, or are you setting yourself up to crumble? Some people drift through life, reacting to whatever happens, blaming circumstances, waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, the perfect conditions. But let me tell you something, the perfect moment never comes. You either take control, or you let life control you. You either step up and make things happen, or you step back and watch as life passes you by. The people who succeed, the people who future to chance, they take control. They decide what they want, and they go after it with everything they have. They don't wait for someone to give them permission. They don't wait for someone to believe in them. They don't wait for things to be easy. They create their opportunities. They push through obstacles. They refuse to settle for less than their full potential. Think about the people you admire, whether it's an athlete, an entrepreneur, an artist, a leader. Do you think they got to where they are by accident? Do you think success just fell into their lap? No, they made deliberate choices. They controlled their habits, their time, their energy. They didn't waste hours scrolling through distractions, complaining about what wasn't fair, or wishing things were different. They took action. Success isn't about luck. It's about alignment. Aligning your thoughts, your words, your actions, and your habits with your goals. You can't say you want to be successful, but spend your time doing things that lead nowhere. You can't say you want to be great, but surround yourself with people who hold you back. Every single thing you first sign of difficulty, or you can dig deep and push forward. The choice is yours. At the end of the day, it all comes down to this. Are you controlling your life, or is life controlling you? Are you making decisions with purpose, or are you letting the world decide your future for you? Because one thing is certain, if you don't take control of your life, someone else will. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Everybody wants success, respect, financial freedom, and peace of mind. But very few are willing to do what it takes every single day to make it happen. Discipline isn't about motivation. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes like the wind. Discipline is what keeps you going when motivation fades, when the excitement wears off, when the path gets tough and uncertain. Think about the greatest athletes, the most successful entrepreneurs, the legends who changed the world. Do you think they relied on motivation? No, they relied on discipline. They got up when they didn't feel like it. They showed up when no one was watching. They practiced when everyone else was sleeping. They made sacrifices most people weren't willing to make. While others were looking for shortcuts, they were putting in the work. Discipline means controlling your impulses. It means saying no when distractions try to pull you away from your purpose. It means waking up early to get ahead instead of hitting the snooze button. It means choosing long-term success over short-term pleasure. The problem is, most people know what they need to do, but they don't have the discipline to do it. They want the rewards without the effort. They want success without the struggle. They want change without sacrifice. But life doesn't work that way. You either control your habits or your habits control you. Every day you make choices that shape your future. Are you choosing discipline or are you choosing excuses? Are you letting your emotions dictate your actions or are you taking control? Because here's the truth. Your life will not change until your habits do. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't have discipline, it won't matter. There will be days when you don't feel like doing the work. Days when you're tired, discouraged, and tempted to quit. That's when discipline matters most. That's when champions are made. You don't become great by working hard sometimes. You become great by working hard all the time, no matter what. The people who succeed in life aren't the smartest, the luckiest, or the most talented. They're the ones who refuse to quit. They're the ones who control their habits, their time, their focus. They understand that every decision, every action, every moment of discipline is an investment in their future. And while others waste time, complain, or wait for the perfect moment, they're out there building, grinding, growing. Because at the end of the day, discipline isn't just about success. It's about who you become. It's about proving to yourself that you are in control, that you are stronger than your excuses, that you have the power to shape your own destiny. And once you master discipline, there is nothing that can stop you. Success is not about how you start. It's about how you keep going when things get tough. It's about your ability to endure, to push through the obstacles, to stay committed when every part of you wants to quit. Life will test you. It will throw failures, disappointments, setbacks, and heartaches in your path. You will face moments where everything feels like it's falling apart, where the weight of your struggle seems unbearable. But those moments, those are the ones that define you. Those are the ones that separate the ones who say they want success from the ones who fight for it. Look around. How many people do you know who started something with passion, with energy, with excitement, only to give up when things got hard? How many people had big dreams but let fear, doubt, or laziness steal their future? You see, starting is easy. Anybody can start. Sticking with it, that's what makes the difference. That's what builds champions. That's what turns ordinary people into legends. Every person you admire, every success story you've heard, every great achievement in history was built on persistence. Michael Jordan didn't make his high school basketball team, but he didn't quit. He practiced harder, pushed himself further, and became one of the greatest athletes of all time. Oprah Winfrey was told she wasn't fit for television, but she didn't quit. She built an empire. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb, but he didn't quit because he understood that failure is not the end, it's part of the process. You have to understand this. Every failure, every setback, every rejection is preparing you for something greater. The struggles you face today are shaping you into the person you need to be tomorrow. But only if you refuse to give up, only if you decide right now that quitting is not an option. Because here's the truth. There will always be a reason to quit. There will always be an excuse, always an obstacle, always a challenge. But those who make it, they are the ones who find a reason to keep going. So, when life knocks you down, when things don't go as planned, when you feel like all your hard work isn't paying off, keep going. When no one believes in you, when people laugh at your dreams, when doors close in your face, keep going. When fear creeps in, when self-doubt tries to take over, when everything inside you is screaming to stop, keep going. Because the ones who refuse to quit are the ones who eventually win. Nobody said it would be easy, but I promise you it will be worth it. Keep pushing, keep grinding, keep believing, because if you don't stop, if you don't give up, if you keep moving forward, one day you'll look back and realize that every struggle, every tear, every late night and early morning was leading you exactly where you were meant to be.